I would like my little granddaughter to be able to walk down the street without the fear of her being assaulted and raped and molested. I would like to see some moral decency and moral purity again in this nation. I'd like to be able to send them to the store without them having to see all kinds of magazines and newspaper stands and so forth with nudity all over the place. God, can't we keep their minds pure, at least for a while? Must we put pollution all around? Can't decent people have the right to live decently? Does constitutional freedom mean that we have to expose everybody to the filth and the pollution of perverted minds? I hope not. Or I'm for changing the Constitution and establishing some basis for morality rather than the nothingness and the vacuum that has been created by the humanist today.
Illuminati wants my body, mind, soul. I was walking down the wide road with my eyes closed, blindfolds on. As time goes on, my mind grows strong. Intellect climbs like Kong. Ticking time bomb, that's what the earth is.
Righteous peace. Righteous peace. Welcome once again. This is the third installment of the Absolute Truth classes. This is your Brother Ali, and I want to get right down to it this evening. I don't want to waste any time. I'm running a little late. I don't like running late, so my apologies for not being right on time this evening. But anyway, I wanted to get into this tonight. In the previous two classes we had, we dealt with the reality of now, which was dealing with the self. The last class that we had the life of a God. In that class, I taught on just the basic principles and standards of daily living for God. I didn't get too deep into anything. Tonight is going to be one of those classes. My God brother and fellow teacher on this planet, Brother Supreme, has relationship classes. So I thought it would be pretty good tonight to go into some relationship issues, something that'll be beneficial for the gods and the goddesses. Once again, I don't like to backtrack too much. My advice to everybody is if you're not really sure about, well, hey, I seen the title, what's this God thing? Well, then I suggest you go back here into my little archive. You go into the reality of now. The reality of now will explain everything that you need to know about God. I don't like backtracking. And then that will also, like I said, it'll give you a base and a foundation, for moving forward in the classes, point by point, class by class. So let's get into it anyway. This evening, tonight's class is going to be the union of the God and the goddess. The union of the God and the goddess. When we make that statement, when we say the union of, of a God or the goddess or the union of this or the union of anything, we want to get, once again, to the etymological root of that word union. What do we mean when we say the union of the God and the goddess? Well, once again, like I explained once before, we speak the language of English. Our colonizers have forced and impressed this language on us, and this is the language that we speak. So And this is a language that we apply on a day-to-day basis, you know, in our actions while we're speaking this language and vibrating in this language. You know, we are also applying our daily living according to this language too. So if we're going to be using this language and applying this language in our day-to-day activities, well, then it's very important for us to get a deeper understanding of these words that we're using, you know, because once you do the math in language, this is something that your brother has spent many, many, many years working on here. There's a mathematical equation to everything. There's a mathematical equation to language. You know, and language vibrates. You know, the sounds and the decibels, whatever, the sounds, the decibels, whatever. But it vibrates. You see what I'm saying? And those vibrations can raise, and it can lower your very own vibrations. So once again, language isn't something that I'm suggesting that, you know, that's what we should focus on and, you know, we don't need anything else. No, absolutely not. Your brother would never tell you anything like that, you know, because your brother is in accord with universal law, and universal law dictates that math and science rules all things, okay? And that means it rules language also. That's why I said just a little bit ago that there's a mathematical equation involved in language. Language in and of itself, how can I say this? Language in and of itself does not have the tools necessary to have direction of its own. It has to have an equation to it. You see what I'm saying? And that equation is mathematical, you know, and that's how words are sometimes very powerful. That's why people tell you all the time, watch what you say. Or sometimes they'll tell you, well, once you said it, you can't take it back. It's out there now. You've put that energy out there through words, okay? So that goes to show you right there that language in and of itself is important, you know, but all we have to do as the God and the goddesses now is we have to learn the mathematical equation to these languages so that we'll be more correct and more in accord, you know. But once again, let me make this statement to you too. I want to remind you, we are speaking a language that was impressed upon us by our colonizers, okay? This language, this English language, is a language that is a baby language on the planet. That's what it's called. It's the baby language. It's the last language that has come to this planet. You know, Ebonics is not a language. Some of these idiots out here will argue with you about that, but trust me, Ebonics is not a language. I like to call that nigger babble, okay, because that's exactly what that is. But English is the baby language on the planet. It's the newest language to the planet, and it's the language that was given to the devil so that the devil can rule under that language, and he can impose in his rule, he can impose his tricks through that language. So all that the brother Ali is trying to do is just give you a few little keys here and there to unlock certain tricks here and there so that you can move more in accord in your direction now. That's all. Well, anyway, let's get back to this now before I get to bloviating too much here. Union. What is a union? Well, according to the English definition, once again, because we speak English, the word union means the act of joining or uniting two or more things into one. Say that again. Union, according to the English definition, because we speak that language, means the act of joining or uniting two or more things into one. Okay? It didn't say that you're going to take two or more things and then make three or four things. That's not what that statement said. It says it's the act of joining two or more things into one, making something one now, making it complete. It's no longer two. It's not separate anymore. These two things are together now. They've been fused together, and I went into that into the last class about fusion, the fusing of things together and making them one. And out of that fusing of two things and bringing them together as one, there will be the light of creation, okay? And there's a creative process of bringing two things together as one. Because now that they're both brought together, those two things could be two totally different things, okay? But once you bring those things together and make them function together or bring them in accord with each other so that they function as one now that one thing becomes something that is part of each one of those, but it's in and of itself, it's its own thing. It is being created out of the two things coming together. You see what I'm saying? So once again, we have the union is the act of joining or uniting two or more things into one. So now when we're talking about human beings, well, this is what we want. This is positive. This is an accord. This is righteous. The act of joining two or more things, two people. We're going to join two people and bring them into one. One what? Bring them into one mind, one thought, one accord, one action. Now, that is what I call a union between a man and a woman. One mind, one thought, one accord, one action. It doesn't get more righteous than that. That's the way it is intended to be. The male and the female are intended to come together as one. One mind, one thought. You can't have two minds and two thoughts operating in a household. Then what are the children supposed to do? What are they supposed to think? You know, daddy's saying one thing, but when daddy's gone, mama's saying another thing. Well, we're not in one mind. We're not in accord. We don't have one thought, you know. And what we're now, not only is the man in disruption, she's in disaccord and disruption, he's in disaccord and disruption, but now we're also bringing children in, bringing in a third outside party now and making them in disaccord and in disruption. See, these are the things that happen when you don't come together with one mind and one thought. It affects more than just the two. It can reach out and affect others, and that's a problem. That's a major problem. That's what's been going on here within, for lack of a better phrase, in the black community, okay, amongst black folks, because this is who I'm speaking to right now. You know, I'm an original person, so I speak to my original people, you know, and this is what is going on with us. You know, we're not in accord. You and your woman in your house are not in accord. You do not have one mind. You're not a union. What you have, let's move on to the next point. That brings us right to the next point. What you have is a marriage. Marriage. Let's get married, baby. Come on. Come on, let's run downtown. Let's go to Vegas. Let's get drunk. You know, let's lay up in the hotel, fuck all night, and get up and go get married. You know, marriage. Well, let me explain to you what marriage is. According to the English definition, marriage is the state of being united to a person of the opposite sex as husband and wife in a consensual and contractual relationship recognized by law. One more time. Let's listen to that again. Marriage. Marriage is the state of being united to a person of the opposite sex as husband and wife in a consensual and contractual relationship recognized by law. Okay? Now, if you just listen to that definition alone, I don't want to get involved in nothing like that with no woman. Okay? You know, first of all, in last class we went over, and I will backtrack on this real quick. In the last class I taught, I explained to you our English definitions of husband and wife. A husband is a manager or a steward, okay? And a wife is a woman acting in a specific capacity, okay? So neither one of these two terms or titles have any type of, there's nothing genuine there with them. You see what I'm saying? They're both playing roles or playing positions that don't involve, you know, honesty. It doesn't involve, you know, my all. You know, it's just I'm doing what I got to do because this is my job. You know, I'm the steward, like a husband. I'm the steward over this, you know, like, or a manager, you know, like I explained to you last week. You know, the manager of a McDonald's, well, yeah, he runs McDonald's and he takes care of the daily affairs and handles the money and blah, blah, blah. But if the McDonald's burns down, he's not crying his eyes out at night about it because he knows corporate office is going to send him to go manage another McDonald's. You see what I'm saying? Until they can build him up a new one. But he ain't got nothing to worry about. He has nothing vested in that. He's cool. He's going to get another gig. You know, there's no vested interest in that. It's just a job. You see what I'm saying? The same goes for a steward. And like I said with a wife, it's a woman acting in a specific capacity. Not that she genuinely loves you, not that she genuinely is your mate or your companion or your associate. She's acting in a specific capacity. So this is what you have in marriage, you know, being united to a person of the opposite sex as husband and wife in a consensual and contractual. Contractual, we already know consensual means that, you know, hey, we both consent to this. We both agree to this. Nobody's being forced. Okay, cool, no problem. But contractual is a contract. Contract. Devils draw up contracts, man. You see what I'm saying? Banks have contracts. You know, record companies, you know, movie companies have contracts, man. And we all know what happens with contracts. You got to read small print. You got to read. You have to have a grasp of what the big legal words and terms mean. You see what I'm saying? With contracts, there's always pitfalls in contracts. You don't want a pitfall when you being joined, you know, with a female. You're not expecting pitfalls like that. You're looking forward to, yes, there's going to be issues that we'll both deal with. But to just go into it knowing, hey, pitfalls here, just walking through the door, no, that's no good. And then it's a relationship that's recognized by law. By law. By whose law? You know? Is this what? Law what? Universal law? Are we talking about? Oh, okay, I get it. We're talking about the devil's law. I got it now. We got to bow to his law, in his world. Listen, brothers, brothers and sisters, this is the reason why your marriages don't work out. This is the reason why they say in America over 70% of marriages end up in divorce. You know, the rest of them are separated. This is the reason why women hate men, men hate women. Women are turning to other women now. Men are turning to other men because they can't get along. They can't find a place where they can be in accord with one another. Okay? And this is what happens when you're married. There's nothing about the definition of marriage that leads you into being in accord with anything. And then once again, we'll go into this other side of this. Matrimony. See, these are the tricks and the pitfalls that you run into, brothers and sisters, when you're in such a hurry to talk about, well, I'm in love. I want to roll and get married. I love her. I love him. Let's go downtown. Let's go to the church. You know, let's do this. Go buy me a ring. Let's go get a tux. Let's get the limo. You know, let's plan our honeymoon. It's all games. It's just all a big charade, big games, and then 6 months later, you're both in the kitchen. She's got a knife in her hand because she's ready to cut you. You know what I'm saying? And you got your cell phone in your hand because that's the reason why she wanted to cut you, because you got a bunch of text messages from about 2-3 other bitches. This marriage thing ain't working out because of the pretexts that you came into it under, because you came into it looking to be in a marriage or married. That's not what you want. What we want is a union. I want me and you as a man, when I'm talking to a woman, I want me and you to be united and to become one. We have to be one to be in accord. That's the only way it's going to work. But let me get to this with marriage, too. The devil also, on the flip side of marriage, he likes to use the word matrimony. Anybody that's been married, I've been married myself. Hey, Brother Ali's, I've had a hell of a life, you guys. You know, and I ran downtown the first time I got married, and it was crazy. I don't know what I was thinking, but you know what they tell you though now is that at the end of the little speech that they give, but they let you know that you are now joined together in holy matrimony. Matrimony. You are now joined together in holy matrimony. Matrimony is a very interesting word. I spoke to our Brother Supreme about this in his class a few nights ago about that word. It's interesting because once we find out the roots of these words, now we find out why we're having these issues, why things aren't working out, because of the pretexts we going into and the vibrations that we're getting off of these words and that we're going into these relationships with. We're going into them with our vibrations lowered. So you can't expect nothing but for the vibration or the direction of this little thing that you call a relationship with this woman or this man, it's going to be lowered to the point where eventually you can't be together anymore. Matrimony, according to its English definition. Now, this doesn't tell you how screwy they really are. I want to show you something here. It says, according to its definition, it's the state or the condition of being married. Very simple. State or condition of being married, matrimony. But it's very interesting, though, because if you just scroll down a little bit like I did, and you look at the etymological root of the word, forget the definition. Let's look at the root of the word. The root of the word is all Latin. Most words in English are all Latin-based. They all have their root in Latin. That's where they come from. But this particular word, matrimony, is interesting because you have matrimony, and like I said, if you paid attention to my class, I always ask everybody to bring a piece of paper, piece of paper and a pencil, because there's certain things I need you to write down because I want you to see what I see, so that we're all in accord. So take your pencil and your paper. I want you to write down the word matrimony, M-A-T-R-I, and then put a little dash right after the I, and then put moni, M-O-N-Y, matrimony. I want you to separate because there's two words, two Latin words. The first word, matre, in Latin, means mother. Like in the Spanish, it comes from with the Spanish word madre, and in Italian too, madre, which means mother. But mother is a reference for female, a woman. A woman is a mother, not a man. So that's a feminine reference, okay? The word moni has its etymological root in the Latin from the word monium. Monium. And that word means state or condition. State or condition. So what we have here, if you look at them, matri, the first word in the Latin, which means female, mother or female, and then monium, moni, which means state or condition. So this is the state or condition of femininity. Or, the condition of the female, state of the woman. This is womanhood here. So this whole marriage thing, matrimony, marriage, this is the state or condition of femininity. This has nothing to do with you, brothers. This is the reason why when you see most men that have been married for a long time, that's why they act like they've had their nuts chopped off, because they've literally been castrated. Because this is a state or condition of womanhood. There's no room for balls here. There's no room for testicles in this situation. And that's why the laws apply. And anybody that's been legally married in America knows when you go to court, brothers, pull your balls out because that's what they want. And they're going to get it. They want alimony. They want child support. She gets the house. She can get a couple of the cars. They want to look at the bank account. They want that divided up. You see what I'm saying? They're going to make sure that that woman, the state or the condition of that femininity is protected at all costs, at your cost, brother. Not at all costs. It's at all costs to you. You see what I'm saying? So these are things that you have to keep in mind if you want to be in accord. Well, then let's stop using these terms. I don't want to be married. I don't want to have no matrimony with no woman. I don't want to be in no marriage to nobody. I need a union. We need to be a union. We need to be united. Okay? That's the only way this is going to work. That's the only way that it's absolute. And then once we are in the union, we recognize that we have a union. How do we get together? Well, what are our methods of joining one another? How do we join? What do? We run downtown like I did, made the dumb mistake that I made. Go stand in front of some old foul politician, some judge. What do they call him? The justice of the peace. Yeah, right. The injustice of no peace is what they are. Some old foul politician marrying you, and then you wonder why your marriage didn't work out. It was doomed from the start. Or you done ran to some church, and you're sitting up in there, man, with some big old cigar-smoking preacher, that's got about 3-4 little young girlfriends in the choir, and he's foul. He's probably a faggot. Most of them are, but he's marrying you. And not only is he marrying you, then you got a bunch of people that you invited to the marriage on your side of the family, her side of the family. You got people on her side of the family that don't like you. You got people on your side of the family that don't like her. Her friends, some of her friends don't like you. Some of your dudes don't like her. And you got all these emotions jumping off in the church, sitting there while you trying to be joined together in the face of God Almighty, as they say. But you got people in the ranks now that are already doubting you, that are already planning and wishing on your doom. And then you wonder why. We can't join like this. We can't do this anymore. We're the gods and the goddesses of this planet. We don't follow behind our colonizer. We don't follow behind the devil. We don't practice his ways of joining. That's how he joins. And if that's how he wants to join, that's fine. Let him stay in divorce court. Let him beat up on his woman. Let him pay child support. Let him go through all those things. That's his business. It's his laws. That ain't for us. We are the original scientists and mathematicians of this planet. That's not how we join with our mates. We already know that we're in accord with the earth. You know, brothers and sisters, I was taught by some Native Americans. I hate to call them that too, but I can't use any other frame of reference because I don't remember. I mean, I'm quite sure he probably told me, but I really don't remember to give you an absolute that what particular tribe he belonged to, so I can just say Native American or one of our red brothers. But he told me and taught me about methods of joining together. He was teaching me about this, and he told me, he said, listen, man, you know, the most natural thing to do, and he said some of their tribes and what they've done is that they would go out, and then that the man and the woman would both write their names in the earth, in the dirt, okay? The man would write his name, the woman would write her name, and then the man would take his name and then bring the dirt together, you know, pile it up into make a little pile of dirt out of his name, and then the woman would do the same. She'll make a little pile, and then they take their two piles and they bring the piles together and make one dirt pile, and then take the dirt pile and smooth it out over the earth, you know, and now we're together, we're joined, natural, no contracts to be signed. You know, I mean, I'm quite sure that there's probably things that are spoken. You know, they probably want to voice their intentions with one another, and they want to, you know, and want to declare their intentions with the universe, and that's fine. You know, however you want to go through it is your thing. You know, but I appreciated the natural and the natural process of it. You know, that's in accord to me. You know, I mean, like, wow. I mean, this is something that we're doing where the earth is bearing witness to what we're doing. You know, to hell with all these people that don't like us and don't have no, no type of regard for us. You know what I'm saying? It's just me and you, baby, and the earth and the universe is bearing witness to this union that we're doing between us. You see what I'm saying? And we might have, well, actually, I would say it would be more correct in the core to have 4 people present as witnesses. You know, 4 is always a good number as witness. We have 4 corners on the earth. You see what I'm saying? You know, that witness and hold the earth in its place. You see what I'm saying? So you keep 4 witnesses around you, 2 males, 2 females, that'll witness this joining of you and your mate together. Keep it natural, keep it simple. And that way you're starting out on a good foot. You know, you're starting out in a positive direction. You're starting out in accord. And you've left that bullshit behind you. Okay? And that's a very simple equation. I don't really have to go too deep into that. There's really not too much more of a science to that or too much more math to be applied to that little equation there. Keep it natural. The earth is sufficient. The universe is sufficient as a witness for joining 2 people together. You know, I would say, hey, based on the track record that these preachers and these judges got, the earth couldn't do no worse. That's how I see it. Okay? Let me go into this next point real quick here, and I'm going to take some calls because I see California is on the line. I see my brother Poel is in here too, and we have another guest in here, so I'm going to open up my phone lines here in 1 second, you guys. Let me take care of this next point. I want to talk about our roles just real fast here in this situation. You know, we're joined. We're together, you know, me and my mate, not my wife, my mate, not your husband, your mate. We're not married. We're not in holy matrimony. We've been joined together as a union now. We've become one. We're in accord. But what is our roles while we're in accord? What do we do? It's a simple equation there too, brothers and sisters. You know, me and Brother Supreme, in his classes, we always teach you that man is law. Man is order. Man has to create law and order. How do you create law and order? Well, you have to establish a base for you to even have law and order. You have to have a place for you to set up your law and set up your order. And once your law and your order, you have the base set up where your law and your order is in place, now your mate, your queen, can come in and now she can rule that. See what I'm saying? That's how that works. So, brothers, you have to get out there. You have to provide. You need a place for her to be comfortable, for you to be comfortable. And if you're planning on having children, they have to be comfortable. You have to have a roof over your head. You can't be out here in the elements. You know, you can't be waiting on Section 8. You can't be waiting on HUD. You can't be waiting on FEMA. You know, you have to get out there and make this happen, man. You got to talk to people. You got to, search for properties, man. That's what you always should be doing anyway. You're always seeking to acquire more of the planet for yourself because the planet belongs to you anyway. So all you're doing is just claiming different parts of it for yourself. Okay? Simple. But get out there. Provide a place, something stable for you, something stable for her, so that you can set up your law and your order and she can rule. She can do her job. Now she can be in accord. See what I'm saying? You can't lay back, brothers, and wait on her. I'm gonna move into her place, man, and we're gonna post up over there for a little while until we, figure out our next move. That ain't gonna last long, brother. That ain't gonna last long. I'm telling you now. And living in your mama basement with your new wife ain't gonna work either. Okay? That's why you shouldn't take a mate until you're prepared to provide for a mate. That's why I wanted to talk about this roles thing. You see what I'm saying? We need to understand what our roles are so that we can make this union in accord. And this union can last the test of time as long as you're in accord. But you have to play your position. You have to know your role. Brothers, you have to know that you're the man. You are law in that house and order. You have to maintain law and order. Without law and order, there's no home. There's no house. There's nothing. Without law and order in the universe, there is no universe. You have chaos. You see what I'm saying? You have planets just slamming into one another, suns just exploding all over the place. No, there's law and order in our universe. There's law and order in everything. There has to be law and order in your home so that she feels comfortable to rule, so she can be more in accord now, because that's her position. That's her place. It's her job to rule. But she rules under the protection, under the law and the order that you've provided for her to rule at home. Anybody will tell you growing up, man, shit, they mama run that house. Daddy busy. Daddy out there making it happen. Daddy making sure that the lights and the gas, the rent staying paid, there's groceries coming up in this house. He can't be running around the house worried about, who didn't do their homework, who didn't pick up them socks, who didn't make up their bed. Mama maintains that in that house. She rules. She keeps that house the way she wants it. She decorates that house the way she wants it. She's ruling. She's in accord. But she's only in accord because you're in accord, brother. Because you provided her that level of comfortability for her to rule. Without you providing that for her, she can't rule. Play your position. Know your role, brothers. Know your role. Sisters, let the man play his role. Don't challenge him. Can't have two roosters in a hen house. That's an old saying. Can't have but one rooster in a hen house. It has to be a male in the house, and it has to be a female in the house. It has to be a man in the house. It has to be a woman. There has to be law and order in the house. There has to be yielding. There has to be, and in yielding, I mean there has to be compassion, nurturing, the love, the mercy. All that comes with mama, with mother, with female. Play your role too, sisters. Know your role. Know your position. And don't step out of your position. Because once you stepped out of your position, you set your little universe right there in chaos now. There's going to be chaos, and the man has no choice but to come and bring order back to his universe again. And in bringing order back, you might just not be in the universe no more. Because once he's found out that I have chaos in my universe, I have to remove the chaos in order for the universe, in order to run smooth again, if he's any kind of real man at all. But once again, we're having issues with that because most brothers ain't man enough to do that. They'll hang on to chaos in their universe. They'll let a woman come in and just upset their whole universe because they can't let go. They can't let go. They complain about the chaos, but they don't want to get rid of the chaos because they scared to death that somebody's going to be laying up with their chaos. Who cares? Let them lay up with it. That's chaos in their universe. You just gotten rid of chaos in yours. You should be thrilled. Now you're back in accord again. You should always be happy. You should always feel joy in your heart about being in accord, brothers. And you too, sisters. Same thing goes for you. Don't keep no man in your world that's creating chaos for you. He's not being law and order for you. Oh, you don't waste your time there. You keep it moving. These things are absolute. These things are actually, they should be common sense, really. I don't even really see, this isn't really considered an advanced class to me because these things should be common sense. Common sense. You know? Just like lying. Men, stop lying. Stop lying to these women, man. Tell these women the truth, especially the one you live with. You always tell her the truth, man. You know, every time you lie to someone, you insult them. You know what you tell somebody when you lie to them? I'm going to tell you exactly what you're telling them. When you lie to someone, you're telling them that I don't think that you have the mental capacity, okay, to discern judgment on whatever it is I'm lying to you about. You mentally, you're not intelligent enough to handle this. So I have to lie to you. I have to give you something that's watered down, that's dumbed down, that you can handle. That's what a lie is. That's very insulting to someone's intelligence. To say that I'm not intelligent enough to handle the truth. You didn't even give me the chance to even test my intelligence before you ran a lie across me. This is how women feel, brothers. Stop lying to them. Stop lying to them. I mean, the same thing goes for you too, ladies, you know. But I'm more on these men because once the law and order is in accord, okay, the yielding will be as it should be. You start lying, she start lying. It's a simple equation. Stop lying, brothers. Tell these women the truth, man. You don't want to be with her no more. Tell her the truth. Just tell her I don't want to be with you no more. Let's figure out something about these kids. And figure out what I can do, what you can do. You know, you with a woman and there's another woman out there you're interested in, be honest with your woman. Tell her, hey, listen, you know, this, that, and the other, you know. But tell her the truth, man. It hurts her to hear it in the streets, man. It hurts her. It embarrasses her. Don't do her like that, you know. And it not only does it hurt her, but it lowers your vibration, brother, as a man. It means you're not man enough to live up to the truth. You have to cower and hide behind a lie because you don't have the heart. You don't have the testicular fortitude, you know, or the balls to be a real man and stand up for the bullshit you ain't involved in out here. Don't do that to yourselves, brothers. Don't do it to yourselves and don't do it to her, man. And you'll be more in accord if you can be honest. All right, listen. Ooh, I'm going to open up this phone line real fast here because I see California's on the line. I think this is... Go ahead, California. California, you're on the line. Go ahead.
Shalom and balance, sibling. It's Powell.
Oh, Powell.
Dream of the UK.
Powell?
Indeed, Lord. Indeed, Lord.
Oh, righteousness, brother. Righteousness, man. How's it going, God?
Lord. Everything is blessed. Kind of late on my end, but yes, everything is blessed, man. Wonderful build. Wonderful build.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Everything okay for you over there?
Oh, true indeed, man. The weather is starting to warm up a little some, so we're not getting bombarded by snow and ice and all that madness. So it's getting better for the guys over here. It's getting better. We're warming things up.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey, listen, brother, I'm glad that you did call in this evening, man, because now I get a chance to, you know, personally thank you, man, for posting that video on your YouTube channel for me, man. I appreciate that, black man. Thank you.
No, honors, Lord. Honors. You're putting that truth out there. Brother Supreme's classes, and obviously you've got your own class now going. You've got to put that truth out there. Each one teach 12. You got to get the supreme absolute truth out to wake the siblings up, uplift fallen humanity, so we can get this nationhood popping.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. And I do these things, man, because like I said, it's it's my expression of love, because I explained in the previous classes that the true definition of love, as we were taught by the great teacher, is to want for your brother or your sister what you want for yourself. That's love.
True.
All that other mess, man, like that shit everybody went through yesterday for Valentine's Day here in America, that's not love, man. That's materialism. And it's madness,
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second here. Go ahead, California. California, you on the line?
Righteousness, God, what's going on?
Righteousness. Who's this?
And the Supreme Creator.
Righteousness, Brother Supreme.
Yes, sir. I've
Right.
been enjoying hearing you teach, brother. I'll say it's pretty much absolute. It's a couple of pointers, and other than that, it's pretty right and exact, brother.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, I mean, you're the Supreme Creator, the Supreme Being. I mean, that's your attribute. See what I'm saying? That's from the universal source, that energy, man. You're that creative energy force on our planet, manifested in a human being. I mean, so you are the Supreme Being, and that's what you do. I mean, you are the Creator. I mean, once I said this before, brother, that we have to pay homage, man, because this is where we all broke bread from. Everybody. I mean, all those of us that are on this absolute tip. We all, we come from there. From the Supreme Creator's build. We've all been able to branch out now. We've been able to nurse, and pull on that breast of truth that you provided for us, and we've gotten stronger, and we're coming up in that truth. So anything, though, I'm saying all that to say that, anything or any points, that you want to elab on, that you think that, you want to shed any type of advanced light on, brother, please.
That matrimony was absolute, brother. And the union,
yes.
All those were, well, you couldn't put it any better. And that was deep how you broke down, that being a feminine principle as far as the female getting everything, you know what I mean? It being a feminine-ass world, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's absolute, And I think wife, you missed that one. Wife, in essence, or the absolute God divine or divinity of that is twice. The woman, she's supposed to be the man. When she takes on a man or agrees to be his wife, she's supposed to be him twice. That's supposed to be him twice. In other words, how she teaches his children, how she rears, it's supposed to be him. That's why your mother has you first. She's your first teacher. And then when you get to a certain level, then the father comes. So that's why the great teacher was here first. He's the mother. He was the female impregnated with a mind, with an idea. And he was God twice. He was the wife or the mate, as you pointed out, the mate of God. On a spiritual, not no physical faggot stuff, you know what I'm saying? Spiritually, he was God's wife who impregnated him with a mind or an idea, a message. You know what I mean? That's what messengers are. Messengers are feminine principle, or they take on the feminine role of magnifying a God's idea. You know what I mean?
That's absolute. That's absolute.
That's right on point, brother. That matrimony, that was powerful.
Because because once again, here we are, and you got everybody's running around, I could care less about what the Caucasians are going through, but the melanated man and woman are the ones scratching their heads. How come, we can't stay together, man? We used to be so happy, man. We had this, we had that. But once again, like I said, the language, because they don't study science, the average, black man and black woman, they don't do what the fuck they supposed to be doing in school, man. They just there to keep them getting their ass whooped at home. You know what I'm saying? So, they don't understand how powerful words are in language and how they lower vibrations, and that's why, like I said before, we've all had, our grandparents, our parents tell us, man, be careful of what you say. Watch what you say. Watch the energy you put out into the world from your mouth. What comes off that tongue, because that's very powerful, and it has energy, and you can give life, it can have a life of its own now, for, lack of a better description, but it has energy to it. And that energy can be positive or negative based on the vibratory pattern of it.
Absolutely.
I try to teach them, that listen, man, just get a little better grasp, stop running out here because everybody says they want to be married. Now you want to be married, and that's what everybody's doing, And then 6 months later, here comes the destruction. And then they scratching their heads trying to figure out why.
Yes.
If the man ain't in jail by then.
This bastard language, this language has no father. It's mixed with Spanish and all Portuguese and part Swahili and all languages just about. You know what I mean? This is a mud bastard language. You know what I mean? Without no father.
Definite. And don't forget, you got the old languages which aren't even spoken anymore. Your old Middle English. You got Latin, which isn't obviously spoken anymore, but is pretty much the foundational language of most languages these days. So, yeah, man, we're speaking a real bastardized language, which puts people into spells and into a zombie state.
Do it. That's what's happening with this music now. They're using different words and phrases to keep these children's vibrations on a low pattern. That's why they're so violent and so dumb. They vibrating real low.
Like that stupid term that people are adopting now, swag. I mean, that just sounds like fag to me. They're popularizing words which have a harmonistic type of sound to it to give off the same vibration.
Right. Well, that's why, I explained to in the last class, I told everybody, go to YouTube and go watch the videos about, the different, vibrational patterns. And they show you, the lower the sound, the lower the pattern that the salt grains make. They make, a simple pattern. But the higher you raise that sound and the resonance, you raise it higher, the more intricate of a pattern it makes, or a higher, evolved pattern. And the higher you go, the higher it evolves. You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting because if you compare the salt grains that they used in that experiment on top of I don't know what it was, a sheet of paper or glass or whatever they had it on. But if you compare that to the cells in your body, which you have millions and billions of cells, they vibrate the same way too. So it's important. That's why when we speak, certain sounds that we speak from our bodies, they create certain vibratory patterns in our bodies, So when you're saying, your oohs and your A's and your E, like real high like that, you're raising your vibrational pattern higher. But like I explained, like with the letter E, you have a that's a lower vibrational sound, or the O, you have a ah, lower, So, I mean, it's all science. These are things that, like I said, individuals can, do their own individual research on it and come to, absolute or even more advanced conclusions on it. I mean, it's just something I'm, me myself, I'm still, taking in right now and trying to master.
Not true, indeed. But for myself, I don't think so either. I will ever master it's bastardized language, never mind another, because there's so many different variations and changes with this with the language, especially how they every 5 years the term and word is changed to mean something different. So we just gotta constantly stay on the forward motion of forward motion.
Right. But you know, just to get back real quick though here, I wanted to explain too quick, you know, because, you know, once again, I have to put this responsibility on the brothers, on the men, because once again, man represents law and order. You know, I mean, that's a universal principle. You know, it's a masculine principle of the universe. You know, if we want to describe it in those terms, we have to say, well, is it male or female? Well, then if we have to break it down to those type of descriptive terms, then yes, those principles are masculine, you know, because, you know, they're strong, you know, and they, once again, law and order. Without that, you have chaos, and in chaos, you have nothing, man. You know, we already know what happens. You know, if you just take the police. We took the police out of, what was that, Watts out there in California for a little while when they disappeared when them niggas was going off. Man, they went crazy. No law, no order. They burned down everything. They was robbing people, man, and raping people. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
No law, no order. You know? But see, this is the reason why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, man, and once again, I mean, this man was absolutely in accord with what he taught. Okay? This man taught us that woman, first of all, he taught us that there is no such thing as a no good woman. He said every no good woman was made no good by some no good man.
Yeah.
That's what he taught us. Then he turned around and taught us behind that woman is to serve as a divine counselor to the man. You know, and it's just like, wow, why would he choose, you know, that's strange, you know, why divine counselor? You know, well, we all know what a counselor is. We've been in school, you know, we've had counselors in school. Counselor's not a teacher. A teacher has to work from a certain playbook or an agenda. She teaches, you know, a curriculum. You know, but a counselor, you know, is different from a teacher. They guide and direct the decision-making process of a student. Whereas the teacher has to teach a certain instruction, but that counselor is there to guide and direct your decision-making abilities. Okay? That's not on the teacher. Teacher's just there to make sure that you just take in this information and you're a good little tape recorder and you can repeat back what they gave you. That's their job. But that counselor's job is to guide and direct. Okay? So we have this here, the divine counselor now. So we know that we have someone that's there to guide and direct, but that woman, and he called her divine. What is divine? Well, we know, well, what we don't know is, but what I'll explain to you is in the English language, the definition of divine means of relating to or proceeding directly from God or a God. Mm-hmm. It says proceeding directly from God or a God. Okay? And then another second definition of it can mean supremely good, divine, you know. So, but basically, though, we know that this divinity thing, this divine thing, this divine counsel, you know, she is guiding you back into your God nature. That's what she's there for, to remind you constantly of who you are, brother. In case you are slipping, that's what she's there for. You know, when you've been out in the world all day long, you know, and you've been kicked in the ass all day. You didn't get the money you thought you was going to get. You know, rent's due, man, in a few more weeks. It's getting a little tight. You know what I'm saying? The beans and the rice are starting to look a little shallow in the cupboards. You know, man feels pressure. You know, that's what she's there for. She's your divine counselor. She's there to remind you, you God, baby. All that's already been provided for us. All you have to do is just go out there and get it. It's there. Just go get it. It'll be there tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Get some rest. I've cooked you something, though, with what we do have. You know, I got a nice warm bath in there for you. Go on in there and relax. It's your divine counselor, man. She puts your mind and your spirit at ease. And that's what your home, that's where you're supposed to go home to get that. If you can't go home and get that, and that's not provided for you there, then you don't have no home. You got a sideshow. You got to waste the rent money. That's what I call it. You paying rent for nothing. I don't have no peace there. So, who's still here on the line? I think Poel dropped. You still there, Brother Supreme?
What's that, brother?
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you were still there or not, man, because I think Poel dropped.
Oh, okay. They probably called back.
Right.
Who else we got here?
That's just me and you with Poel right now, man. A couple of we had a few guests in here earlier, and they dropped out, and then some guy named Steve, but he's talking about the Holy Spirit or something. So I guess it wasn't enough. Yeah, it wasn't enough Christianity in my message for him, so he bounced.
Yeah. Another lost soul. If he got a
huh?
Another lost soul if he's original and got a soul. And the devil, he has to get his soul from what's already here, you know what I'm saying? That's why he learns how to dance from Negroes, he learns from Negroes. That's where he gets his soul or entity of completed ideas. That's all a soul consists of, is a completed idea. We complete ideas and put them in vessels or beings. That's God's. Okay.
Right. You know, brother, I'm glad you called in, too, because, see, you could bear witness to this for me, too, because, see, you from California. Well, I lived in California, you know, for a short period of time, but you lived there. You grew up there, so you already know the devil's system out there, and he's tearing them niggas' asses up, man, in them divorce courts, ain't he? You still there? All right, Brother Supreme must have bad connection or something. Well, if you can hear me, brother, just speak up, man, whenever you back in. But yeah, California.
I'm here, brother.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you can bear witness, man. They tearing them up out there in California in them divorce courts, ain't they?
Oh man. Ooh. Not just in the divorce court. If you put your hands on a woman, since OJ killed that white woman, shit, that's 2 years automatic. If she pressed charges on you, the DA found you guilty of putting your hands on a woman. That's a felony. Them niggas are getting time just for threatening women down there.
They're giving you a deuce right off the bat, huh?
2 years.
Dang.
I got a biological brother, got time just for threatening a woman. He said he was going to they tried to give his ass attempted murder because he said he was going to kill her ass. You know what I mean? She called the police on him.
Just because he said
he did 2 years. He did 2 years.
That's what it is, brother. That's what it is. Once you play these games, these relationship games, because it's the devil that sets up relationships, man, because he's been programming everybody for years, man, through that television and that damn radio about what a relationship is supposed to be. And, ooh, baby, I love you, singing all this love stuff, and I'll do this, I'll kiss your ass and suck your toes. And brothers, this is what they're going for, And then they keep showing you relationships on TV, giving you these situations of what a traditional marriage should be, and, the husband, if you pay attention, especially the children's shows, this is the one thing that really gets me. It's basically the children's shows that do this because they always show the husband as some buffoon, some bumbling idiot. He never knows what's really going on in the house. It's the mother and the kids that are constantly scheming to get things done while he's just fadoop around there. So they always show the man in the position of lowliness, and nothingness, idiocy, Even have the son in a situation in these shows. Even the son is with the women conspiring against his father.
Although look how anti-masculine principle, anti-law, anti-man the devil is, anti-nature. Here they down there, women is just catching niggas left and right. Even if the niggas dead broke, they just having babies just for the welfare system or farewell system, and a lot of them are having just so that the man would be liable for accountable for financially paying for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here, instead of taking that money, making the man be a man, and helping the man out, or putting those funds into a man's pocket until a man can get his own, where he can be financially stable to take care of himself and his family on his own, they put it in the woman's hands. You know what I'm saying? And what that shows is that it's to kill the male and spare the female. You know what I mean? That's a feminine principle, because it's giving the power or the authority, the head of the family, to the feminine principle. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Son grows
So
up to be a faggot.
They what?
And then the son grows up to be a faggot.
Right. I mean, just to keep the law in there, to make sure that, if we're going to help this, that's originally what they claimed the welfare system was. It's for families, if the husband lost his job or he was, something happened to him or whatever, it was, for the family or whatnot. Family, the key word is family. We all know in a family, you need both, you need the pair or the two parents, the masculine and feminine principle. You can't call it a family, without its completion. It's an incomplete family if they don't have the masculine principle.
You know what, brother, while I got you on the line, I wanted to ask you, too, because, I just didn't want it just to be me, to appear like I'm on the phone just bloviating because I got some, my marriage didn't work out years ago, so I have some type of hatred for the union of man and woman. I don't. I'm just trying to give people the absolute. But I wanted to get your opinion on what do you think about today's traditional marriages, these limos and tuxes and big-time receptions and all these halls that are being rented and all this madness, and then 6 months later this nigga's in jail because he gave her a black eye and she's sleeping, with his cousin.
Right. One of them, what's his name? Ocho Cinco.
Right.
Right.
What do you think about that?
They're focused on the wrong thing. They're having the honeymoon before they even had the merger. In other words, if they haven't merged on a psychological and mental connection, and that's going to keep them together. Once when all that fun and all that, when it comes down to them living around each other, them really, the real, what you call mate or merger, when they really have to see if the merger works on the mental, that's when they get tired. That's when they find out they're not compatible. That's when they find out that they're not for each other, because all the fun is over, all of the the jumping up and down and the reception and all that, and partying and going out and doing this and this and that. So they can't adjust because they don't have enough substance in their relationship to adjust to.
No substance. Just fun. Riding around town in a limo with your head sticking out the sunroof screaming, I's married now. Or down there where they be going to Jamaica, a honeymoon in Vegas and Hawaii. So it's all fun until you get home. You have to take that damn tux off. Got to unpack them bags. And you got to get up Monday morning and go perform for your enemy. Punch his time clock. And your woman got to go do the same.
And in her merger, the way she was taught by the devil, She was taught that it's 50-50, and she gets to wear the pants. Matter of fact, it ain't even 50-50 no more with these clown females the devil made. What it is, they want to wear the pants completely. You know what I mean? They don't even let the man even wear the pants. You know, they say 50-50. You know, they want to wear the pants all the time, the way the devil has it set up. He'd gladly say, you know, in his merger, since he's so damn feminine, the devil, naturally, and not nothing against him personally, he's the most recessive of all genes, period. That's of the Chinaman that he comes from, the yellow. He didn't just come from the original man. He came from the yellow man. He came from the brown man. So he's the lowest or the most recessive of them, too. He has the most recessive and feminine gene, which is part beast. And we know the animal creatures are feminine to human beings. They're not rulers of anything. They have certain dominions that they try to defend and whatnot of their territory and whatnot. Although they know that beings with intelligence can wipe them out anytime. But the animals know this. That's why the dog, you know, even the dog don't respect some Negroes and whatnot because they don't know themselves. And the dog won't even respond to you.
Damn. That's bad. That's a bad situation when the dog won't even come to you.
Dog won't. He won't. He knows you ain't gonna give him no instructions. Even the bee. The bee is asking for instructions. They go and kill the bee. They need something to do. Since we followed, or as you shared, fell low, you know what I mean, to the devil, basically. You know, this is what took place. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Fell low, following him.
You're right.
His customs.
Him and his world, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Although follow is completely a negative word, you know, it depends on what you're following or how you are applying it. Because we all have to follow before we lead. You follow your parents. You don't tell your parents what you're going to do and what you ain't going to do growing up. You follow whatever the hell they tell you. You have to follow them. You don't have a mind yet. It hasn't developed enough to be independent. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So we all beings have to fall low before you can be God. Although today, you as adults, and people are supposed to be grown and gods and goddesses, you shouldn't be falling to no devil. You shouldn't be, you know, following to him. You know what I mean? You're supposed to follow this until you're able to really not, you ain't following, you got to get in the chord. You follow the messenger, and you follow him because you didn't have math and science yet. So you were taught to be a follower, his follower, in order to get to the God or to the Father. So that's what took place.
And that's a good point, too, brother, because like what you just said, you know, it's just, you know, the falling low part, you know, I mean, we're all going to fall low here anyway, you know, but that's part of the process because, you know, part of being a god, as you stated, is that the gods are like Elijah described us as the cream of the planet Earth, and cream rises to the top. Well, if you have to rise to the top, you have to rise from somewhere. You have to rise because you was at a low position or a low point. The cream is sitting at the bottom of the cup in order for it to rise to the top. You know, so for the gods have to be at the bottom in order to rise to the top. You know, that's why we're described as the cream. No matter what's been placed on us, we rise.
You see, we have to follow the mother for the first teacher. All children follow the mother. We follow the great teacher, the mother. You know what I'm saying? That's the law. Follow your mama. Get on the breast.
And that only takes place for a certain period of time, because then even in following your mother, you eventually rise to the top now. Because the days of following mama is over after you become the age of 4, after the baby's over. You're ready to rise to the top now and get in accord with law and order now, which are manly principles. But mother is very important, brother. You're absolutely correct, man. It's our first teacher, our first nurse.
Right. Well, the mother prepares you for the father. Father means first and further. So after the mother teaches you, the mother meaning more of, she produces more of what the father gives her to feed, or more of him, or magnifying his ideas. So after the mother, the more of, produces that, then the father, they're supposed to be ready for the father. That's to say, you can go with your father now. If the child's not ready, the father won't take them with him. They have to be there with the mother. Although when they're able to go, and the father is able to teach them things and take them certain places and do certain things with them in their development, he's the first, and he's to take them further. So not only he's first, he's also the one that takes the child further in their growth into being an adult.
The way it used to be.
That's what a father is. As I said, a dad means he just did it. Man, although a father is there to nurture and teach the child. You know what I mean? So a dad
just did it.
His dad is just the one that did it.
I heard that.
He's a sperm donor. He's the one that impregnated the mother. Although if he wasn't there teaching and nurturing that child when it gets of age and ready for him to go take them further in life, then he was just a dad. That's all you have is a bunch of damn dads. Few fathers, world full of dads.
Yeah. World full of a bunch of men that just did it. Squirted their little dog water in somebody and kept it moving.
Right. Absolutely.
Wonder why. Following behind this devil, your colonizer, your oppressor, the one given the job to put you in this condition that you're in, while your job is to rise above the condition that you've been placed in. And that's not what's happening. And that's the reason why we have these classes, brother. And that's why, I'm going to always, I said it before and I'm going to say it one more time. That's why it's important for us to always pay homage, man. Brother Poel.
A lot of they should be here. Really, Umar, he should have been here. He definitely needs all of the relationship teachings and classes on his previous experience, so he don't fall into that. Or next time he would develop a communication or a mind, and not just taking these niggas. You know what I mean? Because they look good. They're a bunch of damn niggas, man.
What?
Once you get to that mind, you're going to find Satan. You know what I mean? Can't mate off of that. Not a righteous mate.
No, you can't. It's impossible. And, he's just going to have to, and I think I mentioned that to him before. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I did, because it was something that I would definitely said. But, you have to apply some of your African principles, brother. You have the benefit of not being raised here, yes, there's issues over there where you come from. Y'all ain't been raised perfect over there. Y'all society just as fucked up over there, if not more, than what's over here. But still, though, he had the benefit of having a different perspective in his approach to females than what we've had here. And I would have thought that he was being able to use that to his benefit in dealing with these women here, But I can see that that wasn't the case. This is a special group here, brother, in America.
So they're going to be left out. Those who endure to the end will be successful and rewarded. I'm going to be now you know, as other people have been disrespectful at my table, I'm going to make their ass sit outside and eat outside and let some other people throw some bones at them. And not going to be eating at my table no more.
You said let somebody throw some bones at them.
They don't deserve this food, brother. They're ungrateful. Just like you were saying, paying homage, brother. That's like saying grace. Although, you know what I mean?
Right.
We're God. We don't have to pray. Although, as you was mentioning, giving homage, giving honor. I do that all the time. To the energy. You see what I'm saying?
Well, you know, brother, you know, oh, man, the destruction in the mind of the black man is just so deep and so extensive that even simple things like what you just said about the respect at another man's table or the paying homage, you know, these are simple equations. These don't require a tremendous amount of math to work out mentally. You know, these are things that actually should just be natural. These are principles that should have been given to each and every one of us as young men growing up, learning how to pay homage, how to humble yourself. Humility is a wonderful principle. It's a balancing principle. Humility is, you know, because a lot of brothers have problems. They don't want to be humble. You know, man, nah, I'm not going to be giving that nigga no credit, man. Fuck that nigga. You know, I got what I got because I got it, you know, and that's how they think. Instead of saying, no, look, brother, no, you didn't get what you got because you got it. You got it because of the fact that you was working with this brother over here, and then you decided to branch off with the knowledge and the skills that you acquired there and went and did your own thing. So what's wrong with you saying, well, hey, yeah, man, I always got to pay homage to my man over here, to this brother here, because this is where I was, you know, I was groomed. You know, my skills were honed. This is where I learned my trade, my craft, or whatever it is. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But once again, you know, they see that as being weak. You know, that's weak. That's borderline feminine, but tight ass pants ain't. You see the ridiculousness of the mind of the black man? You know, wearing tight pants and, you know, and conducting themselves the way that they conduct themselves in this homosexual culture, that's not feminine. But paying homage and showing humility, you know, and respect, where it's, you know, righteously due, no, that's feminine. I can't do that.
I'm going to tell you this, that's not a good thing at all when I'm saying that I'm not going in that frequency no more. You know what I'm saying? Just go stay consistently on the God. In other words, I'm not blocking or putting a stop to the progress and the motion of God. You know what I'm saying? We're going to continue. We're going to go forward regardless. We're not going to be hindered. As I shared, the planet ain't going to be hindered because a bunch of dumb niggas don't want to wake up. They'll just die. You know what I'm saying? That's a very severe idea and message when I'm saying that I'm done as far as I'm not looking in other words, I'm not looking in no garbage cans anymore for gold. I'm convinced I'm not going to hardly find the few little nuggets, little crumbs of gold I found, you know what I'm saying, out of all of the tons of trash I had to go through. You know what I'm saying? I'm not skirmishing through the trash can anymore looking for gold. Period.
Time is past.
If gold's gonna come to me, it's gonna come. Although I'm not gonna be I'm not getting my hands dirty and getting in the mud and getting all this filth and everything on me in the process of digging through garbage. So that's all I'm searching in is garbage, trash, throwaways, filth. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
A bunch of good-for-nothing niggas. So that's it as far as that. And that is, you want to know the significance of the time. That most definitely bears witness to the time. Because after me, if I'm done with you, there ain't nothing else out there for you. And the Panther Party, they might still be looking in the garbage, although they ain't too far from garbage themselves. They got a stench on them as long as they want to be under the devil's foot or any of these other national groups or Kemet or whatever else people think is out there for them.
Yeah. It's all about assimilation with them niggas, man. They want to assimilate. They don't truly want to respect the message that the great teacher gave us about separation. You know, separation not only of the physical body, you know, but separation of the mind and the consciousness, separation of your finances. You know, but these niggas want to petition the government. They want to set up action groups, and they want to, you know, put their own people in Congress. We're going to put our own man in Congress, and, you know, we're going to do this, and we're going to change it from within. You know, we're going to fight the system and make it ours. It's like, man, you can't make Egypt yours. Egypt is what it is. Egypt belongs to no one. Egypt is a condition on the planet. You cannot claim a condition that you did not create. You know, so for them to think that they can assimilate into this, you know, the RBGs, the Black Panthers, the Nation of Islam, they are assimilating now into Scientology. I guess they want to show Hollywood and the rest of white America that, hey, we're not so bad. We can kick it with you on this level too. They want to assimilate. It's totally disrespecting the message that beautiful little black man from Georgia gave us. That absolute message that he gave us. That was the only solution. And he made that very clear. This is the only solution for the black man and the black woman in America is complete separation. And he didn't say that because he hated anybody. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was too wonderful of a man to hate anything or anybody. He gave you the absolute. Okay? What was absolute? He gave you the absolute about who you were. He gave you the absolute about who your colonizer was. He gave you the absolute about how you should progress economically. He gave you the absolute on how you should progress socially. He gave you the absolute on how you should progress intimately as mates. I see Brother Supreme is hung up, or he might have got disconnected. Well, that's okay. And me and him are in accord on the message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, so there's no need for me to even go any further on that. But I'm going to wrap this thing up here, brothers and sisters. I didn't want to drag it out too long this evening. But, but I'm going to get back to that one quick point about, brothers, once again, you're the law and the order. This is what your woman wants. This is what your mate wants from you. She's looking for you to be law and order in your home so that she can be in accord and she can rule comfortably, so that she can comfortably be mother. She can comfortably be your mate, and then she can also comfortably plan and get with you and work with you on helping or assisting and coming up with sustenance for the house. She has ideas that can make money or take the family in a certain direction. But she has to have that level of comfortability for her in order to conduct herself on that level. For her to be in accord, she has to have law and order provided for her. And if you're not doing that as a man, then you're no good for her. You're holding her back. You're hurting her. And you're going to hurt your children. So once again, the union of the God and the goddess, the bringing together of two into one mind, one accord, one thought, one process. This is the key to a successful relationship. This is key. If you are following these simple points that I have given you this evening, you know, from understanding the meanings of the words or the terms that you operate your relationships under, I've given you the definites on those. I've explained to you, you know, what a union is and how absolute that is for you, you know. I've given to you the methods of joining, you know, about the running downtowns and the, you know, and the big church extravaganzas that you're putting on for thousands of dollars, and instilled, and it has no bearing on whether or not your relationship is going to be successful. But then I also gave you the definite or the absolute on what was more natural, allowing the earth and the universe to suffice as a witness for you. What could be a better witness than the earth? What could be a better witness than the universe? What could be more whole and more complete, more natural? Damn sure not going to get that from your boy or from your girlfriends, okay? They not whole. They not complete. Most of them jealous. That brings me to another small point, too. Keep these people out of your mix. Once you're joined together in absolute accord and you're working within the home, you know, to produce righteousness, to raise children in righteousness, and to move yourselves, your children, your family, your household in a straightforward motion, forward direction, positive direction, universal direction, okay? You can't do that when you got your rotten-ass girlfriends or your low-lifed partners coming by. Keep them people out your mix. They want to see you. See them in the street. Don't let them just sniff around your house, you know, talking to your kids and playing in your kids' hair and, you know, sitting around, you know, staring at your husband, ladies, sisters, you know, inviting a woman in there that's staring at your man and, you know, and she's sitting up in there just, you know, she's just jealous. She's just noticing just how well your man is providing for you and, you know, how well taken care of you are, how well loved and cared for that you are, you know. You think she's happy for you? Really? You honestly think that bitch happy for you? She hates you. She hates you for what you got. And not only does she hate you for what you got, she wants what you got. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing about women that's different from women and men, you know. You know, a man, you know, more or less, you know, he'll give you props. You know, well, hey, yeah, you know, you got a beautiful thing going on over there, man. You've been blessed, brother. You know, righteousness, man, and keep it moving. You know, or even if he is old, jealous-ass nigga and, you know, for whatever reason he's jealous or whatever it is you got, you know, you might, you know, y'all might beef, have words, y'all might scrap, whatever. But then that's it. That's the end of that. That's a man thing. But women, y'all operate a little differently. There's hate there. There's jealousy there. You know? You know, a woman will do some low-life shit to another woman just to slide up in there next to that woman's man and her kids. You got some women out there that are that sick. They want to be you and hate you because they can't be you, sister. Be careful of them bitches. Keep them out of your house. You can't have a successful relationship, you know, with a good man, and you got low-lifed women coming around him. You know, that makes him start to question you. Well, if your girlfriend's low-lifed, what am I supposed to think about you? If your girlfriend's a shit starter and a gossiper, you know, and a manipulator and a Jezebel and a part-time tramp, what am I supposed to think about you? I've always been told by my grandmother that birds of a feather flock together. Mm-hmm. Same thing goes for you two, brothers. Keep your partners out your house, man. Keep them niggas out your house. You know, anytime a man's coming by your house, he need to be coming by there to pick you up to go make some money. That's the only time I want to see another nigga in my house, unless I personally invite you over there, you know, because I'm having a celebration or, we're cooking a special dinner, brother, and and then if I invite you, I'm not just inviting you. You bring a female with you. You bring a woman with you, because I don't need you coming up into my place running solo, coming in there stag, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have a woman with you, eventually, if you're not a homosexual, your eyes are going to be drifting in my house at my women. And I don't need that. Those are my women in my house, not yours, not for you to be looking at and salivating over, wishing in your mind you sitting at the dinner table eating my food off my plate, but in your mind you mentally having sex with my woman. We're not having that. You bring a female with you when you come to another man's house. That's respect. That's respect. Unless you come to pick that man up, to take that man to make some money. That's the only reason to have another man hanging out at your house. Just to be over at your house anyway. You can't have, once again, I explained to you, that man means law and order. You can't have two laws. There's only one law in the universe. There's only one manner of order. Okay? You can't have two laws and two manners of orders jumping off in a house. Can't have two men. Can't have two roosters in a hen house. There's only one rooster in a hen house. Okay, brothers? So don't make that mistake. Don't let your partners come over there, sitting over there up in your house playing Madden and shit, eating up your baby's groceries, and every now and then, out of the corner, he's cutting out the corner of his eye, looking at your woman or looking at your daughter. You see what I'm saying? Men are sick like that. Talking about he's your boy, shit. Your boy will do all kinds of little foul, low-down things when your back is turned, brothers. Keep them niggas out your house, man, if you want to keep your house in absolute accord and keep your family in absolute accord. Okay? That family is supposed to be about you and your mate and your babies. Okay? That's it. Ain't no other figures in this equation. That's the equation. And if you keep it that way, it'll be more in accord, and you'll find more success in your relationships. Okay? And last but not least, brothers and sisters, I want to touch on this point real fast too. Keep yourselves up. I said this in the last class. I'm backtracking again. I'm guilty of it. But I guess it has to be said. Keep yourselves up. Keep yourselves up. Ladies, keep yourselves beautiful and attractive for your man. Okay? If you didn't have a big 12-pack belly when he met you, so there's no reason for you to have one years later. Keep yourself attractive. That same attractiveness that you had that caught his eye, that caught his attention, you have to keep that in order to keep that man. Yes, naturally. Well, I know women say, well, that's not true because a man is supposed to love you regardless. No, that's bullshit. Okay? Because I explained to you and I gave you the absolute in the last class that I told men, if you don't keep yourselves attractive for a woman feels, this is a woman now, she feels like that you're not attracted to her no more because you don't keep yourself attractive for her. And then her attention will drift somewhere else. Well, the same could almost be applied to a man. You see what I'm saying? And it's not so much that, he doesn't think that because you don't keep yourself attractive no more that you're not attracted to him. That's not what he's thinking. He might always think that you're still attracted to him. He's just like, hey, you just let yourself go. You don't care. I need to go find somebody that do care. I know you love me. I know you're attracted to me, but you don't care. And it's kind of turning me off. That's how men are. That's how they think, ladies. Okay? So keep yourselves together. Keep yourselves attractive. If you have babies, exercise. Get your body back right. Eat right. Okay? Stay nice and beautiful for him. And watch his attitude be more correct. Men, same thing. Stay handsome for her. If you were clean cut and well shaven when you met her, stay that way. Don't be walking around here years later with an old rough, nappy ass beard. Your hair's nappy and falling out, You know, you done got a little 40-ounce jumping off hanging over your belt. And it wasn't there when she met you. You know, you used to have big muscles, big chest, big shoulders. You know, you was a big, strong, strapping, handsome man. You know, and now you just look like some old sideshow out of circus now. And she's supposed to still be attracted to that. You don't smell good no more like you used to when she first met you. That's one of the first things she noticed. You know, there's your scent. Brother, these things are important. Don't do that to her. Don't torture your woman like that. Keep yourselves together. Stay handsome, stay clean. Wash your asses. Wash your feet. You know, keep yourself oiled. Keep yourself smelling good. If you wear a bald head, keep your hair shaved nice all the time and oiled. You got long hair, keep it nice. Keep it braided. Keep it well dreaded up. Whatever it is you're doing, make sure it's clean and it's nice and handsome and presentable for your mate. Okay? Well, I think we're just about at the end here. I think I've given you guys just about enough on this union thing with the God and the goddess. And like I said, these things aren't difficult. This ain't no heavy knowledge. You know, this ain't no supreme science here. You know, this is very simple math, very simple equations. You know, that you put a little bit of thought into it, you know, you can build on these things that I've given you even more and become even more absolute and even more in accord, you know, with than just the little information I've given you here this evening. You know, these are just basic points. You can take this much deeper, much higher, you know, and watch your relationship grow and prosper. Okay. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you that participated this evening. Brother Powell, thank you very much, brother. You know, Brother Supreme Being, Supreme Creator, thank you. Really appreciate you, brother's participation this evening. And for those of you that will be downloading this class, I want to thank you for taking the time to download and to pay attention to what I had to say. You know, and I promise you that if you take what I teach you and what I tell you and you apply them in your life, don't just listen to it and be like, oh, yeah, Brother Ali, man, you know, this, that, and the other. Yeah, he hit on some strong points tonight, blah, blah, blah. Man, no, fuck that. Don't do me like that. I don't want that. That's not what I'm in this for. I'm in this to give you information for you to apply. I don't need no applause. I don't need no cheerleaders. I don't need no fans. Okay? I need people to take this information that I've given them and to apply it and make it work for you. Okay? And then not only apply it, evolve in it. Grow past the message. Grow beyond the message. That is my purpose here. That is my purpose for giving you this. Anything other than that, then, you know, you might as well just go run to Farrakhan and go run to the rest of these niggas out here that are looking to grandstand. That's not my thing. I don't grandstand. I teach you for a purpose, you know, because I love you, because I want for you what I want for myself. Righteous peace to each and every one of you.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children. victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!